Welcome to the book review of The Intellectual Life, Its Spirit, Conditions, Methods, by Antonin Sertillanges. Originally published in 1921, this timeless classic provides profound insights into the pursuit of intellectual development. Sertillanges, a French Dominican priest and philosopher, offers guidance on how to cultivate a rich intellectual life, addressing both the spiritual and practical aspects of intellectual work. In this review, we will explore the book's key themes, its advice for aspiring intellectuals, and its relevance in today's world. Overview. The Intellectual Life is structured as a comprehensive guide for those dedicated to intellectual pursuits. Sertillanges begins by discussing the vocation of an intellectual and the inner spirit required for such a life. He then delves into the conditions necessary for intellectual work, including discipline, organization, and a conducive environment. Finally, the book outlines specific methods for study, research, and writing, providing practical advice for achieving intellectual excellence. Key themes. 1. The vocation of the intellectual life. Sertillanges opens by emphasizing that the intellectual life is a calling, a vocation that demands dedication and a deep sense of purpose. He argues that true intellectual work is not just about acquiring knowledge but about seeking truth and understanding. This vocation requires a commitment to lifelong learning and a willingness to embrace solitude and contemplation. 2. Spiritual and moral preparation. Central to Sertillanges' philosophy is the idea that intellectual work is closely linked to moral and spiritual development. He believes that the pursuit of truth requires a pure heart and a disciplined mind. The book encourages intellectuals to cultivate virtues such as humility, patience, and perseverance, which are essential for genuine intellectual growth. 3. Discipline and organization. Sertillanges stresses the importance of discipline and organization in intellectual work. He advocates for setting aside regular, dedicated time for study and reflection, and for creating an environment that minimizes distractions. The book provides practical advice on how to manage time effectively, establish productive routines, and stay focused on intellectual goals. 4. Methods of study and research. The latter part of the book is devoted to specific methods for study and research. Sertillanges outlines techniques for reading, note-taking, and critical thinking that can help intellectuals deepen their understanding and retain knowledge. He also discusses the importance of engaging with primary sources, questioning assumptions, and developing original insights. 5. The role of writing. Writing plays a crucial role in the intellectual life, according to Sertillanges. He emphasizes that writing is not just a means of communication but a tool for clarifying and refining one's thoughts. The book offers practical tips on how to write clearly and effectively, and how to develop a distinctive intellectual voice. Practical advice. Creating a conducive environment. Sertillanges advises intellectuals to create a quiet, orderly workspace that fosters concentration and creativity. He suggests minimizing distractions and surrounding oneself with books and materials that inspire intellectual engagement. He also recommends finding a balance between solitude and social interaction, recognizing that both are important for intellectual development. Effective reading. The book provides detailed guidance on how to read effectively. Sertillanges advocates for active reading, which involves questioning the text, taking notes, and engaging in dialogue with the author's ideas. He also emphasizes the importance of reading widely and deeply, exploring a range of subjects and perspectives to gain a well-rounded understanding. Developing critical thinking. Critical thinking is a key component of the intellectual life. Sertillanges encourages intellectuals to question assumptions, analyze arguments, and seek evidence for their beliefs. The book offers strategies for developing critical thinking skills, including how to construct logical arguments, identify biases, and evaluate sources of information. Balancing study and action. Sertillanges warns against becoming overly absorbed in intellectual pursuits at the expense of practical action. He believes that intellectual work should be balanced with engagement in the world and a commitment to making a positive impact. The book encourages intellectuals to apply their insights to real-world problems and to contribute to the betterment of society. Strengths. 1. Timeless wisdom. One of the greatest strengths of The Intellectual Life is its timeless wisdom. The book's insights into the nature of intellectual work, the importance of discipline, and the relationship between intellectual and moral development remain relevant today. Sertillanges' emphasis on the spiritual dimension of intellectual life adds a depth and richness to his advice that is often lacking in more contemporary guides. 2. Practical and inspirational. The book strikes a balance between practical advice and inspirational guidance. Sertillanges offers concrete strategies for effective study and research, while also inspiring readers to pursue truth and wisdom with passion and dedication. The combination of practical tips and philosophical reflections makes the book both useful and motivating. 3. Holistic approach. Sertillanges takes a holistic approach to the intellectual life, recognizing that true intellectual work involves the whole person, mind, body, and spirit. He addresses the physical, mental, and spiritual aspects of intellectual development, providing a comprehensive guide for aspiring intellectuals. This holistic approach ensures that readers are not only equipped with the skills they need but are also inspired to cultivate the virtues and attitudes necessary for a fulfilling intellectual life. Weaknesses. 1. Dated language and context. Given that the book was originally published in 1921, some of the language and context may feel dated to modern readers. Sertillanges' references to early 20th century intellectuals and his sometimes formal writing style might be challenging for contemporary audiences. However, the core principles and insights remain highly relevant, and readers can adapt the advice to fit modern contexts. 2. Religious perspective. Sertillanges' religious background and perspective are evident throughout the book. While this adds a valuable dimension for many readers, those who do not share his religious beliefs might find some sections less applicable. Nevertheless, the spiritual principles he discusses can be interpreted in a broader sense and applied to secular intellectual pursuits. Conclusion. In conclusion, The Intellectual Life, Its Spirit, Conditions, Methods, by Antonin Sertillanges is a profound and inspiring guide for anyone dedicated to the pursuit of intellectual excellence. The book's timeless wisdom, practical advice, and holistic approach make it a valuable resource for aspiring intellectuals and seasoned scholars alike. By emphasizing the importance of balance, discipline, and spiritual development, Sertillanges offers a comprehensive framework for cultivating a rich and fulfilling intellectual life. While some aspects of the book may feel dated, its core principles and insights remain highly relevant and can be adapted to modern contexts. Thank you for listening to this review. Subscribe for more book reviews.